Hello, we are at Ignite UK, which is a Hay House run event, looking at the freshest and most exciting voices in spirituality and well-being. And it's quite busy and bustly around, so there may be some background noise. Please forgive us for that.
We are really excited to introduce Pam Grout. We've actually seen her talk this morning. She's the author of E Squared, which is 9 do-it-yourself energy experiments to prove that your thoughts create your reality. Pam is also the author of 15 other books, 2 screenplays, a live soap opera, a TV series, and many, many articles. And if we are correct, you live in Kansas currently.
I do, yeah,
just like Dorothy.
Yeah,
So I confused Dorothy.
No place like home. No place like home.
No place like home. Anyway, it's so lovely to have you.
Yeah, thanks.
How are you doing?
To be here. Yeah, great. I've had a wonderful time. So.
We really enjoyed your talk earlier.
Thank you.
Something that I think really hit home for both of us was what you were talking about thought creating reality. And Pam said a really amazing thing about you don't go to H&M and buy an ugly outfit, or you don't go to a restaurant and buy, you know, the least appetizing meal on the menu. So why do you choose negative thoughts? And we tweeted that, we loved it.
Oh, yeah.
So we just wanted to know a little bit about how you got into this, you know, your journey really along the way in this work.
Well, I do think our thoughts are very important, not so much just the little thoughts that flitter through, but our consciousness. And I think our culture trains us to a particular consciousness that sort of trains us into negativity, into, oh, you've got to really work hard, and you've got to accomplish this, and you've got to do this by the time you're a certain age. And I think we're you know, moving under that dominant paradigm, and as long as we have that dominant paradigm, we're going to be unhappy. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. So another way of life is possible, another consciousness is possible, and as we change our thoughts, as we start expecting that it doesn't have to be difficult, that life is supposed to work for us, and that there are these forces that are on our side, everything can change. But we resist that so much because it's brainwashed into us as young children. I mean, it starts, I think babies are born just full of joy. I think they're just radiating like sonar with dolphins, you know, just radiating joy. And then little by little, you know, they see that, they send that love sonar out. They see places in their parents where, you know, rejection happened, you know what I mean? And so it bounces back and they get this kind of non-love reading. So you get this reading and then you start, you know, becoming that way as well. So I think that we're just completely, I think it's changing. I think love is becoming the dominant force now. But I do think that we're still seeing some of those last vestiges of those non-loving places that, you know, non-loving stuff that we picked up in that stuff. We believe that life is difficult and life is hard. And those thoughts that I was talking about, you know, don't go to H&M and buy the ugliest outfit. We do over and over think the same ugly thoughts, and we think we have no control. We have great control over it. And the other thing is, it's like, okay, I don't know if you guys saw Spider-Man 3. It was a lousy movie. Well, good for you. But no one would go watch it again. So why would you keep repeating your same old thoughts again? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, we know not to watch some video we didn't like the second time, but why do we keep doing these thoughts that didn't feel good the first time? And it's just such a pattern that we do all the time. Anyway, I talked a long time, so sorry.
No. It's such a clear way. I've never thought about it like that, but that's such a clear way of expressing it. And actually kind of following on from that, so creating new habits and shifting our perspective to something more positive, to something that we want, the way we want to think and live our lives. We talk about that in Addictive Daughter, and it's a lot easier said than done, as we've experienced. So,
although here's a little phrase for you: up until now, because if you repeat, it's easier said than done. You know what I mean? We said, oh, it's hard to change our thoughts. It's hard to learn to meditate or quiet our minds. So I always like to add up until now, because that could have been the reality up until now, but it could change. It could change. You could literally flip it in a second. So anyway, that's just a little tweak
but you know what?
that I like.
Also,
up until now,
Marianne Williamson was saying this on Oprah. She said, well, it's not easy to sit in that place of negativity, is it? And it really isn't. So why it's actually easier to be positive, but we don't like change. That's probably what the issue is. We get stuck in our familiar patterns, and that's the thing.
We're in thinking ruts. That's exactly right.
So what's maybe one little exercise that we could all do just like now to change our mindset?
Well, I talked about it in my talk, and I love this exercise, and I've taught this to a lot of people. It's what I call the AA 2.0 program, and you guys want me to talk about that? Yeah. So anyway, you know, there's the 12-step program, the AA 12-step program. This is different. It's really easy, 2 steps, and I know this sounds so simplistic, but here's the thing about this changing our paradigms. it's very easy, it's just very different. And that's why it seems like it could be hard, because it's so different from the way we've been taught to think and those ruts that we're in. But anyway, what I do is I get up first thing in the morning and I say, something amazingly awesome is going to happen to me today. I make that proclamation, I prepave that for my day. And I know that may not be the perfect grammar, but amazingly awesome. So how easy is that? You say that's the first thing. So you're kind of starting the motivation going, the momentum going in a certain way. I just got back from Africa and I learned about, well, I was back in October, but I learned that rhinos, once they get started, it's not that they're charging you, even though everyone's so afraid that, oh, the rhino's charging me. They're really blind. But if they're pointed in your direction when they get startled, they'll keep running. And our thoughts are like that too. So how we start our thoughts in the morning, like sometimes you'll wake up and, I got up on the wrong side of the bed or whatever, and then it just keeps going and going and going. So that starts your momentum in the way you want it to go. So it's very, very important to get your day started. That's why some of those muscle memory exercises, you're just training yourself to be more positive. And then the second thing I do in this little two-step program is I have what I call my power posse, and we text blessings to each other every morning. It's a blessing from the day before. 3 blessings. I mean, you can do more, but we just do 3. And it has to be something different every single day. So I've always been big on gratitude, and gratitude is the secret to everything. But, it was always like, oh, I love my daughter, I love my career. It was always the same things. But now it's like every day I'm finding those new miracles. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. And it really is true that whatever we look for in life, we find. I mean, we find that if we're looking for doom and gloom, we find doom and gloom. Whatever we look for, that is a law of our consciousness. Our consciousness has created the world exactly the way it is now, but we can create it completely different. I mean, that's what's so exciting about this. We really can do this.
Actually, that exercise that you just said, we get the girls that we life coach to do it, but actually we should do it with each other every day. And we shall. So thank you.
Such a little thing, isn't it? But it can make such a difference. Leading on from that, and it's kind of similar, I think, because you've covered some really amazing points already. Our concept with Addictive Daughter, the philosophy as it were, is if you take care and look after your insides, the outsides will take care of themselves. Have you found that to be true in your own experience?
It's definitely true, but I think as far as paradigms go, this thing about how you look for women, it is so huge. I mean, I think it is kind of for guys too, but for women, it is so huge. So that's one of those paradigms that definitely needs to flip over. But no, it's totally true. If what's on the inner totally radiates on the outer, it's completely true, and that's the way it works. And once you get that, I mean, that's something you have total control over. You have total control over your inner, as you go in and you start finding the beauty there, and then you start seeing it out everywhere else. So it really is, that's such a great thing that you guys are doing that. So sounds fabulous.
Okay, so your title of your talk this morning is also the title of your book, E Squared. So could you just maybe we've touched on a few things, but just give an overall summary of what the book's about, and just a few of the nuggets that you spoke about this morning.
Well, the book is called E Squared, and I don't know that that's what I call the talk, but that's what they called it. So anyway, I'm not sure what I call the talk, but what it is, it's 9 do-it-yourself energy experiments to prove your thoughts create your reality, and each experiment is about 48 hours, because you got to start with baby steps. If you say, okay, I'm going to manifest a Maserati tomorrow, chances are some other thoughts will rise and go, yeah, right, eat my shorts. I mean, that's just not something you could believe. You could get your head. But if you start with these little baby steps, which is what this book is, and most of the experiments, a few of them are a little bit longer, but most of them are 48 hours. You just try it out, simple things. Do I really draw from the universe what I'm expected to see? Is that true? Is it not? I mean, I set it up with little lab reports like this is the hypotheses, and does it work or not? And so like we've been taught, you got to have faith and you've got to follow. All that it's because someone else told you that. No, you don't believe it because you believe it because it's true for your experience. And so this is a way of, like Maston was just talking about, putting your butt to the chair, or whatever it was he said. It's like, you really are putting your butt on the line. It's like, this is like, let's make this either works or it doesn't. Let's test it out. So that's kind of the idea behind it. We've known some of these principles for a long time. We've been talking about them, giving them airtime, but let's make them work. Let's put them into practice. So that's what the book's kind of about.
Yeah, and the talk was brilliant, and Pam had us all up dancing to Pharrell's Happy, which was great. So thank you for a good time. Pam, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us today. Where can people find you? Have you got websites, social media?
I am on all those things. My website's pamgrout.com, and I have a little blog that I do that's really inspiring. And I started doing it when the book came out, and I found out that I loved it, because I've been a professional writer, so I always wanted write for money. It's like, what, I'm going to just blog and nobody's going to pay me? But it was such a great thing because it really did propel my book, and people love my blog. It's very inspiring. I mean, that's another thing people can do, is get up in the morning. I don't do it every day anymore, just because I just finished my next book and I was kind of busy with that. But it's very inspiring stuff. And so that's pamgrout.com. I'm also at Pam Grout on Twitter and Pam Grout Facebook. I have a fan page, Pam Grout. There's also my personal page. A lot of people are my friends there. So anyway,
Amazing.
all those things.
Lots of places to
places. It's been amazing chatting to you so much.
Thank
you so much, Pam. And thank you for watching.